Example 1, solving a linear equation. We want to solve the equation 3 times 2x minus 4 equals 7 minus x plus 5. So on the left side of the equation, the first thing we're going to do is we want to be able to distribute 3 to those two terms, which means we're going to multiply 3 times both of those two terms. So 3 times 2x is going to give us 6x. Minus 3 times minus 4 is going to give us minus 12 equals. We have 7, and then we want to distribute this minus sign to both of these two terms. Now, if you like, you can put in a placeholder in this case and use the value of 1. So that's going to be negative 1 times those two terms. So negative 1 times x is going to give us minus x, and negative 1 times 5 is going to give us minus 5. Okay, so now we have our equation, and now the important thing is to combine like terms on either side of the equation. On the left side of the equation, there's nothing for us to combine because they're not like terms, so we're going to leave it as 6x minus 12. On the right side of the equation, we can combine 7 and the 5. And so that means 7 minus 5, which is going to give us 2, and that's minus x. Okay? Now, the next thing that we want to do is we want to be able to isolate the variable because that's what we want to solve for. So you can either isolate the x on the left side of the equation or on the right side of the equation. It doesn't matter which direction you go as long as you have the correct signs. In this case here, what I want to do is I'm going to bring the minus x, so I'm going to add its opposite. So I'm going to add x here, and I'm going to have to add it to the 6x because those are like terms. And so therefore, we're going to take 6x plus x, which is going to give us 7x minus 12, and that's going to equal 2. And this minus x plus x is going to give us 0. So therefore, we now have combine the x's on one side of the equation. Now, in order to be able to complete this problem, we need to, again, isolate the variable on the left side of the equation since that's what we're doing. Now we want to be able to then add 12 to both sides of the equation. And so now what's left on the left side of the equation is 7x. That becomes a 0. And that's going to equal 12 plus 2, which is 14. Okay, now the next thing that we want to do is we want to be able to now solve for x. Now keep in mind here that what's happening to x is it's being multiplied by 7. So in order for us to be able to solve for x, we have to do the opposite of multiplication. So we're going to divide both sides by 7. 7 divided by 7 gives us 1, so therefore we have x on the left side, and then 14 divided by 7 gives us 2. And therefore, we're going to write the solution set as the answer to be 2. Now, if we wanted to check to make sure we are correct, we would substitute this number of 2 back into the original problem. So if we said 3 times 2 times 2 minus 4, we want to check and see if it would match on the right side of the equation. So we have 7 minus, and that's 2 plus 5. Now we're going to go ahead with order of operations. We have 2 times 2 inside the parentheses. So 2 times 2 is 4. And 4 minus 4 is going to give us 0. So we're going to get 3 times 0 here. On the right side of the equation, we're going to get 7 minus, well, 2 plus 5 is going to give us 7. Now 3 times 0 is going to give us 0 on the left side. And 7 minus 7 is 0, which means that it checks. And therefore, our solution is correct with